Aetherdrift is here on Arena, at least for me. I'm doing the early access event a couple days ahead of you guys getting the set on Tuesday, and this is one of the two decks I am most excited to have come out of the set release. It's Esper Simulacrum. I'm excited. There is an Azorius version that you could run, and I have run in the past in the old standard, but with black, we get access to some sweet new cards. Most importantly, the Demonic Junker, a card with affinity for artifacts. Normally, it is a 7-mana 4/3 artifact vehicle. It has affinity for artifacts, which means it costs 1 less to cast for each artifact you control. There are a lot of artifacts. There are going to be a whole bunch sitting on the battlefield by the time you want to play this, and it's going to be nice and cheap. When it enters, for each player, destroy up to 1 target creature that player controls. If a creature you controlled was destroyed this way, put 2+1/+1 counters on this vehicle. It's also got crew 2. The thing I care about most is it is potentially a 1-mana removal spell to kill any creature. I think you could definitely play this on turn 4, right? If you have 3 artifacts by turn 4, that is counted from 7 down to 4. Could just be a 4-mana removal spell, kind of like a Leyline Binding, right? That's the one. But late game, it's going to be a 1-mana kill anything, which I'm very excited for. The other black card we have is the Grim Bauble, which is actually really important. In the Azorius version I used to run in standard, there really wasn't a good one-drop to put here, other than like an Elspeth Smite type thing, or like some more Enigma Jewels, but having a 1-mana artifact that facilitates the strategy. When it enters, target creature an opponent controls gets -2/-2 until end of turn. Just great, cheap removal. And if you really need the Surveil, you can pay 3 and tap it to Surveil 2, get a little value, but hopefully we keep this thing on the battlefield to facilitate our other artifact synergies. Mendicant Core, Guidelight, busted. 2-mana, */3 for a legendary artifact creature robot. Its power is equal to the number of artifacts you control. This thing is going to be huge. It also has Start Your Engine, so whenever you deal damage on your turn, you increment that counter up to 4. If you get up to 4 max speed, whenever you cast an artifact spell, you can pay 1 and copy it. That's insane. This card's going to be extremely good, and I'm very excited to try it out. No matter if you play Azorius or Esper, like, this card's got to go in. It's so good. We're also running 4 copies of the Perilous Snare, just a generic 3-mana removal spell. It's a little bit of an upgrade to, I don't even have it. There's another one that I used to run, but this is a 3-mana artifact. It's got Start Your Engines. When this artifact enters, exile target non-permanent and opponent controls until this artifact leaves the battlefield. Really standard effect. It's a 3-mana card that pairs well with the Simulacrum Synthesizer, and it's just generic removal. At max speed, you can also tap it to put a +1 counter on target creature or vehicle you control, only as a sorcery. Really small increment of value, but maybe it'll come up. Then we got 4 Thrawn Spiders, because this is both an artifact itself and spits out an artifact token that ramps you as a Power Stone. That's great. And then lastly, running a 2/2 split between the Braided Net and the Voyage Home. I don't know yet. We'll have to play some games and see what the correct balance is. Like, at some point in the game, you just want to draw 3-drop artifacts to get the synthesizer going. So I can see why you might run even more Braided Net, but it's kind of a weird card. It comes down for 3. You can tap it every turn to tap one of your opponent's creatures, so you nullify one of their creatures out of combat for a while. And then eventually, if you have an absurd amount of mana, you can pay 2 to craft it, and then pay an additional 4 to tap it, and then you just draw like 7 cards. So it's very strong, but it takes a while to get going. But in the meantime, it fuels the synthesizer and does tap the opponent's creature down. Voyage Home, on the other hand, is another affinity card. It is 7 mana, 5 white and a blue for a sorcery. It has affinity for artifacts, so it costs 1 less for each artifact you control, and you draw 3 cards and gain 3 life. Late game, this is going to be a 2-mana. Draw 3, gain 3 life. That is exceedingly good. So I don't know the split between these yet. We're going to have to play around with it a little bit. They both have their value. We're going to start with the 2/2 split and see how it feels. Mana base is very Espery. We have all the fast lands because our curve roughly tops out at 3. Shouldn't need much more than that for the most part to get things going. And 4 copies of Scene of the Crime, which is an artifact land. You can pay 2 and sack it to draw a card, which ends up being really great late game. So we're going to try this out. Enjoy the gameplay. Let's dive right in. On the play, looks great. We'll keep this. All right, land Jewel. Okay, I think we'll take that. Or we could Mendicant Core into removal next turn. I'm going to be a little more aggro here. We'll see if we regret that. I guess they're going to run the 4-mana 4/4 artifact first strike whatever thing. Maybe not. What does this thing do? Destroy target artifact. Are you kidding me? Bogus. So there goes our Mendicant Core. There's basically no point in glass casketing this thing. So I guess we'll get down the Braided Net this turn. This is a weird turn. Do you want to lose anything here? Block and then sack it and kill it, I'm guessing? Doesn't have death touch. Yeah, you're gonna kill the jewel? You're gonna kill the core. Yeah, like he's touching. Yeah, this new touching animation is something else. For all the touchers out there, you got what you wanted. Alright, they destroy my poor artifact. That's okay. I mean, the thing is they can go right into that. They can go right into the 4-drop if we don't take this elf now. I mean, they're toolbox for sure, right? They're definitely 4-mana construct. Go get 2 cards that answer whatever you need. Like, they're definitely going to be toolbox. They're going to have a whole bunch of 1-drops here. And they'll definitely be able to kill more. Another 1-drop, yeah. They're just like full toolbox. Well, it's interesting. I guess we'll take it again with the next casket. I think so. Braided net is only so useful. We're trying to keep them off that 4-drop as much as we can. Question is, how many funguses do they run? How many of our artifacts can they kill? Ghost Vacuum will be an issue long term too. Map token. Okay. Here comes the Junker for 4. Zap you. I don't know. This is going to be difficult. This toolbox deck is going to be difficult to beat for us. It depends how many funguses they run. Maybe they only run 1 fungus, you know? That's interesting. Pay 4. Per +1. When it dies, draw a card. For each +1 counter, are they going to kill it themselves? I don't know that we need to waste anything on that. We can snare it later. I think we just want to craft it. With what? The Enigma Jewel? Or the Junker? We craft with the Junker. I don't think we need the Junker. So we're set up for a huge draw next turn. And they haven't put any pressure on us, so this could be one way we get in the game. Depends if they can find another fungus. Not yet, though. 6 mana. There's the Gear Hulk, right? That's the deck they're playing, for sure. Let's see if they can get more fungi. Let's see. Enters Exile artifact or creature. It's a tap land, so we do get 1 turn to draw a whole bunch of cards here. Draw a card for each artifact you control. And we have enough mana to play the Snare first. Using on the Gear Hulk is awkward. I mean, we have a lot of problems here, I'll tell you that. We could use it on the Ghost Vacuum. I don't hate that. Because if they what do we get here? It's gonna be tough. I think we're taking the Ghost Vacuum actually. They're 1 turn away from kind of burying us in these 1/1s. That yeah, that's an issue. So how much does it cost? I think the Ghost Vacuum has to go. And then we do this. Draw a whole bunch of cards. What do we need more of? We kind of have plenty of everything here. Maybe more blue could be nice. Alright, that's it for the turn. So we didn't take the Gear Hulk because if they Reliquary the Gear Hulk, they get it back and then it gets another ETB. But I think taking the Ghost Vacuum is probably a good move. Another counter. When this creature dies, draw a card. Are they going to kill it? Like, what's going to happen here? 7 to the face. We got the Junker coming. Let's see what they take here. Ah, they stacked it that way. Okay, that was cool. That makes sense. Alright, the game's definitely not over. This hasty thing is going to be an issue, though. That's a 5 to 6 damage of haste coming our way. Yeah, we're getting close to dead, for sure. Dang. So if we spider for 3, then that brings the Junker down to 2. Which brings the Voyage Home down, I think, as well. So I think we can do all of that. As long as we have enough mana. Blue and white, yeah, I think it's fine. If we spider again... No, I think we want to junk here and then Voyage Home for blue and white. Hopefully that's enough to keep us alive. Draw 3. The game's not over. It's close though. I mean, this Gold Vein Hydra is going to hit us like a truck. We have the next snare though. We haven't hit any synthesizers. We do need some synthesizers to make this work. They're looking at our cards. If they kill the spider to push for damage, we can power up the Junker to still block. Death Touch and Lifelink. That's interesting. Are you going to put that on the Gold Vein Hydra thing? Hydra for 9. Okay. If we block with the Junker, I think it's probably a bit better. We take a little more damage. That's okay. I mean, it has Trample and Haste. You don't have to block at all, actually. But I think absorbing some damage is pretty good. Because you don't really need it for anything else. And we're going to pick it off with a snare this turn anyway. Also, when it dies, make a bunch of tapped treasure tokens. Okay. We're definitely going to snare here. Braided Net. I don't think we have enough mana to do all the things this turn. Let's begin with this, because I'm pretty confident about this. Hydra can go. Although I guess Glass Casket could have taken that thing. That would have been a bit better, actually. We can probably bobble here. And then we don't have quite enough mana to do all the other stuff yet. I think Braided Net's going to be good. And we can actually craft it right now, right? Which I think is not that bad. Are we going to die this turn? If they have the next Hydra, we could die. But we don't really have a... Yeah, they could have the next Hydra. Yeah, we could wait for that exact reason. We could actually wait here. Craft is only a sorcery, I believe. So if that's it for the turn, then that's truly it. So we'll play the tap land. Yeah, I think the next Hydra. We should have taken the Reliquary, although War 2 would have been expensive. Then we could have Glass Casketed the, whatever that thing was, the Hydra. This thing again. For 4. They sack it again. Alright. That's quite a lot of cards to draw. Very interesting. I guess they take our net. Yeah, they do take our net. We can only tap down a creature. I guess we might as well. Okay. We're looking for some synthesizers, man. That ain't it. And I don't think we want that. Spider's okay, but we really need the synthesizer. That's all we need right here. Or more nets to just have an insane draw turn. That's not it, but we could use you to draw. Come on, synthesizer. There it is. The Mendicant Core is interesting, but honestly, we just need more 3-drops. Like, I don't think that's what we want right now. We want as many synthesizers as possible. Can we attack here? I'm going to say no. Let's hang on. So the problem is they're going to run 4 of these Duskro's Reliquaries. At least 2 of them have been taken on non-synthesizers. So over 4 synthesizers, 2 of them could survive. The next Gearhulk is going to go get the next Reliquary. Both reliquaries. Yeah, he's loaded up on that. Let's see if he saves them for the market back Walker, or he just sacks stuff now. What can he get back? Ghost Vacuum was interesting. Give this thing Death Touch and Lifelink. That's random. Synth down. That guy has returned. Okay, toolbox looking pretty decent here. That's not it. I mean, this is not very helpful. Pace 7. Look at top 4 cards. You may reveal an artifact, card them, put them into your hand. I mean, we have a lot of mana here. I think we're starting to do this. The problem is they have the next thing, so we really want to wait until we can deploy both on the same turn. And it looks like we can, so we'll go ahead and get the value while we can. The Thron Spider activate ability could be our way out of this. No. No. Okay. We get a trigger. We have a whole bunch of mana here. This thing has Death Touch, which is super annoying. But no attacks, they just jump block with the 1/1 anyway. +1 counters. Very interesting. I don't think they have any instant speed removal. We could sack the Thron Spiders, but we can't really do that. Death is lifelink. No, it's got to be one of these guys. The Thron Spiders we need. Oh, I think it has Trample is... Oh, it has First Strike. Holy shit. It has First Strike. Whew. Okay, well that was almost a loss there. That is a very difficult to block creature. I guess is why the Basilisk Collar is in there. And that is not a good draw. Okay. Braided Net. Snare. We can snare away the Death Toucher. The First Striker, at least. Then we have 4 blocks. We just... Looks like it's not lethal. I guess we could survive. No, they have Reliquary for the last blocker. So the snare itself isn't enough. What if we get the Braided Net? 3 for the Braided Net. 2 to do it, and then 3 more to draw. Yeah, it's too expensive. So I think we lose here. I don't think we can beat them off this. I think they got us. Toolbox. Well, it looks like a cool deck. Yeah, I don't think there's anything we can do. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's game. Oh, we get one more blocker, actually. We get one more blocker off the synthesizer. Because they didn't Dusk Rose for some reason. Okay, Gearhulk can go. Though we could tap the Gearhulk if we took the Braided Net. Whenever it enters. Okay, let's try that. Auto pay. Another one enters. We get another blocker. And we can tap down the Gearhulk here. No attack still. And then we can... Then we can draw off the Braided Net. We have 30 cards left. Yeah, we can still get some pretty good draws. Attack our Power Stones. Thanks. Where are we going here? They want the braided net. All right, so we got to tap down the Gear Hulk again. So we don't have to deal with First Strike Death Touch again. First Strike Death Touch Trample. They crew in response. This thing has Trample. Play an Elf. Equip Death Touch there, I take it? Or are we dead? I want to say no. Did I miss a point of damage somewhere? This thing has Trample too? Oh, Death Touch and Trample, yeah. Fuck, dude. Whew. I guess that's lethal any which way. Not sure. On the play, I mean, at least we have Perilous Snail for turn 3. Snail! Perilous Snare. Yeah, I guess it's keepable. It's not amazing. It's definitely not amazing. I do like this, I do like the background, though, with these little whirring Thopter things. I actually think that's quite cool. Okay, only blue source into the Enigma Jewel. Tap it to add 2 colorless, spend this mana only to activate abilities. Oh boy, it's pretty aggressive. And we got nothing to do here on 2. Hold full control. Just so it looks like we have something at least. Let's see how crazy this discard goes. Let's see if they cycle something for 1. Or like for 2 mana. Just take 1. Is that all? Oh man. Okay, cool. Alright, I think we're, let's see. Discard 1 more cards, put that many +1 counters. Are these identical? This one just says flying. Okay, so we could Braided Net here or just Perilous Snare. We don't know if there's anything else we'd really want to take. Let's start the engines, in case that matters. Both are roughly equivalent in effect. We're 1 turn behind the Junker, though, so the other one's probably going to come out this coming turn. And hopefully their Affinity can lead the way. But this is a pretty aggressive deck. At least this guy does not have haste. Just 1 to the face. Alright, that's a little slow. Alright, so we'll do Braided Net tap land this turn. Down to 16. But the Affinity is starting to move. Oh, we could have actually played this first and then... Yeah, then we could play the Junker this turn. But they're similar effects. Sky Crash. Get that one back. Alright. Also it's cycling for red. So we'll tap down the Sky Red before combat. Scene of the Crime. It's an artifact land. Discard 2 cards, then draw that many cards. I feel like their draw has not been explosive. Like, I think we've been a little lucky this game. We had a weird opening hand with, what, no 2-drops, right? Okay, so let's see which creature is getting the plus ability. Okay, so that's the one we will tap down this turn. They say oops. Not sure why. I guess they should have waited until we picked one of these first. Two to the face. 10 to 14. The Synthesizer. So if we play the Synth first, we'll have 2 mana left open. Which is short. I think we... I mean... It's really good if we wait one more turn, right? I think we have to. Drop to 13. We could Braided Net one more thing. So So what do we need here? We play the Junker into the next Junker. For 2? There's no way to Voyage Home next turn, though. I think double Junker is good, though. We don't need the next land for that, though. Unless they kill one of our artifacts here, and they have shown the ability to do that. I think we'll take everything but the land. Enigma Jewel could be used to sack the scene of the crime, but we like our artifact density right now. It's awkward that we're tight on blue here. Okay, so they crew you for 1. And we still get to tap you down. Two to the face. Let's see if that's it. If they can cycle. I mean, I got 3 mana open here. Discard. Discard 2. It's a lot of damage. I don't know if the Junker can save us or not. Discard 1, actually. Yep. Drop to 7. It's not ideal. Yeah, I mean, we can double Junker here, pick off 2 things, take 6, but we'll use the Pain Land. I don't know if there's a better thing to do, though. At least 1 Junker's got to happen. But I think it's too little too late. That's it, got Exhaust. I guess we have 1 more Braided Net use. Junker's down to 1. We could Voyage Home here. We could hit land as well, right? We haven't hit land yet. We could top deck a decent land, actually. How much is this to play? 3 mana just to play this thing? I mean, if we hit the land, it's fantastic. It's just Junker. We just have to make more things off the synthesizer. This guy's exhausted. These guys are identical, right? So I guess we'll take one of these. Okay. That's it for now. Double A8's down to 6. Life gets good if we hit the Voyage Home. That's a very accurate name, actually. It does feel like the Voyage Home if we can hit that. Cycle for more +1 counters, okay. I mean, we don't need to waste a Braided Net here. We do want to kill this thing if we can. So how many artifacts do we have? If we sack the Scene of the Crime, we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I think we will sack this thing then. Off the Enigma Jewel. That's a really good draw. Though it eats our blue as well. Isn't the blue? Comes in tapped. I mean, this is really good. This is unbeatable, right? Unless they get flying. Can they give one of these things flying out of nowhere? The bottleneck on blue has been tough. We have the next blue. I mean, this is a good card in general. I don't think we need more land, really. No attacks here. We do technically threaten lethal, but I don't think it's worth risking anything at this point. They're gonna have a lot of attackers here. This guy's gonna come in as a 4-2. Been 2 lands. Counters go everywhere. They discard that, get even more counters. Okay. Are we attacking? Drop me to 1. It's interesting, I can't use the pain lands if you do that. Although I guess we went on the back crack. We also have the braided net we can use. But in response, they can power up the rocket as a blocker. So we're not quite there yet. We could also do the braided net massive draw, I suppose. That's really expensive, though. Craft with artifact. Yeah, we don't have the blue to do that yet. I think we start here. Draw 3, gain 3 life. Fast land. Demonic Junker is good, though. I mean, that's roughly enough to win the game. The only other thing we need is we need one more land. Tron Spider would be good to cover reach. I think we can pretty safely attack with 3, right? They have to block 2 of them, and we still have 1 more to play with 3 blockers back. I think that should be enough. I think we can close out the game here. We also have the braided net still, which can still tap down one thing. Drop to 5. Start the engine going up. We have 2 blockers back. Here's the 3rd blocker. It's low on toughness, but as long as too many things don't have trample, I think we should be okay. Okay, this guy comes back. Take the triggers. Good game. Yeah, I don't think they get there from here. I'm gonna be honest, I think we got pretty lucky. I mean, we had a really slow hand, and I bet this deck can be explosive, but they had kind of a slow start too. They didn't start accumulating counters for a little while, I think. On the play, we have Glass Casket on 2. Then we have to hit more land. It's not abysmal, but it's not great. All right, here we go. Got frog sleeves. That's interesting. It's Golgari. It's a Delirium, which is nice because we actually have a target, although we desperately need that 3rd land. I mean, we have to the 3rd land here, or we're in deep trouble. Surveil, maybe they're slow too. They've been the beastie, the bestie. We have literally nothing to do here. We could sack the scene of the crime to look for another land. That's crazy, right? That's actually crazy. If we hit any third land... No, we can't do that. We can't do that. We can at least cast the snare and the synth if we top sack the land. We can't sack the land. Okay, the dredging, they're doing delirium things. Alright, we gotta hit the third land. I'm serious, deck. I'm serious. I'm not joking around with you. Whew! It does not help. Okay, the game's not over yet. We haven't seen any artifact removal. What does this thing do? One less for each creature graveyard. This player enters any number of target opponents, each discard a card. Beanstalk too. Alright, they got the draw engine online. So they want to play a whole bunch of Hollow Marauders with Beanstalk. And I think there's another cheap, there's a common that I reviewed in the set review. Whew, double Beanstalk. I mean, the question is just, do they have artifact removal? I think we just synth all the way down. They haven't put any pressure on us yet. So if they run, you know, 4 Terrace Unders, it's going to hurt. Let's not have any more Scene of the Crimes. We also don't have any black land either. And technically we can't do anything with the 4th land yet anyway. So I think we really can bin both of these. We'll go synth again. And hopefully have the Junker available by the time they slam some giant 1-mana 8/8 creature. Alright, the fill in the graveyard. Oh boy, At-Chick. At-Chick is going to be kind of a big issue. Can go super wide with that deck. With that card. Another Dredger's Insight there. Dredging like crazy here. But again, with no artifact removal, we're doing okay. Ooh, we hit the black land as well. That's quite nice. Alright, it's got to be the synth here. We just have to synth like crazy. I don't know if the Bauble will have a target ever. Glass Casket also might have a target. I don't think we want this next land either. I think we keep pushing. All 3 drops till the end of time. The Junker, we gotta wait to have 1 more target. We could play the Grim Bauble into nothing. That's almost pointless. Except that I don't think it'll have another target against them. I think it's okay. I've seen 0/2 drops from them. So it is just fodder. We got the Junker coming. We have full affinity for artifacts, which is really not bad. And the Junker will make more synth targets, so... Despite a terrible start, Quag Feast. Oh man, they're all into the mill plan. I guess we can discard the Mendicant Core, as crazy as that is. Just keep the removal, keep the draw spells. Whew, double Beanstalk. 28 cards, she might deck herself. I think we're bending the Mendicant Core. We don't have any speed. Warland is okay with me. I think... Oh man, we just don't have the... We could draw first and try to hit the black land. If we do this, we can't Voyage Home this turn. I mean, there's a chance we hit the land. Man, it's so slow, but the Junker is really good by itself. Yeah, I think it's just this, as crazy as that is. Mana base has been very awkward, though. Do we have white? Can these be any? Tap for any color, my bad. Alright, let's go for it. Tap an untapped creature you control? Okay. Sweet. I forgot that was an ability of this card. Not gonna lie. That is very helpful. I mean, does she have a crazy late game? Maybe she has something crazy in the deck that we don't know about. Like reanimate every card in your graveyard. I mean, the freaking Insight is going to be a huge issue. the Atchik. Each artifact and creature. Like, that'll go super wide. So we do actually need to win kind of soon. Yeah, there's the Atchik. I knew it was coming. So how many? That's only 4. That's actually not insane. And so it really just depends if they run sweepers. With double beanstalk stock, you could run Deadly Cover-Up. She might deck herself. I mean, our next turn's gonna be pretty nuts here, too. The next synthesizer, man. I mean, you gotta do it. Why is it trying to do this? It doesn't want to use the Pain Land instead? I think we actually want our blockers here. I mean, land is good at this point. And something that's not a fast land would be good. And technically, yeah, we can kill one of the 1/1s, I guess. It's not doing anything else here. We do lose a life off this, yeah? Okay, attacking is not so helpful. So I think we're chilling. But I'm curious if she can do like some big Atchik reanimate, you know, make 21/1s, sweep the board, kill them all. As long as they're 4 more cards in. +1/+1 and Death Touch. Alright, that's a card. How many do you want to attack with? I guess that's where the snare goes. Have to deal with the flyers now too. The Thrawn Spider can deal with that. The Junker could go in the block here. This thing is Death Touch as well. Oh, everyone's getting in there. All of these suckers have Death Touch. One of these can get eaten here. Whenever another insect you control dies, put a +1 counter on Atchik. Each opponent loses 1 life. I mean, we really don't mind blocking all this stuff. This is Menace. That's annoying. We'll take 4/5 damage here. I think we're just trying to survive. I think we do okay in the long game, maybe. It was a lot of damage, that's for sure. We have triple synthesizer, right? We go Thrawn Spider to block the flyers, and we exile the Swarm Weaver. Down to 10, yeah, it's real though. Surveil 1. Squirming Emergence again. Okay. Alright, that might be the game then. We kind of need to kill both this and the Swarm Weaver. Death Touch is brutal. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If they attack all... I mean, we really need to kill both is the issue. But we can't block with Atchik around. So we have to take Atchik here and deal with the Death Touch. Yeah, it's tough. Quite a lot of attackers. Let's see if she has one more Atchik to go. Yeah? Alright, that'll do it. I don't think we can win from here. Because every block will lose 1 life. So I think that's likely game. Manually selecting all of them. That is bold. Thank you, Ashlizzle, for that. Okay. I mean, we're going to lose because... Actually, it's only 9 damage. That's interesting. Is she 1 short? Or we cannot block all of them, I guess. Okay. So 1 gets through, and then we take 9 from the death triggers. Which is game. Good game. On the draw, this is a nice opening hand. If we can get the Mendicant core down early, that'd be nice. We haven't had a game with that yet. And if we can start the engine first, I mean, we've never seen the copy pop off yet. There are some games where this should go turn 2, left unanswered. It's kind of a lot to ask to have this whole thing just left unanswered the entire game. I suppose it's a little bit ridiculous. I think we do slam the core here, though. We could castle it on the draw. It's just so good if this thing works at all, right? Let's see if we can pull this off. Let's core on 2. And then 3 we can snare. Or potentially throw on Spider or something. Discard deck. Fear of missing out as well. That's nice. That's really nice here. So we Grim Bubble the... I mean, we need to get rid of the dragon eventually. That's got to happen, I suppose. And between Fear of missing out and the discard, we don't know how discardy they are. Like, the Mako could get pretty big. I mean, both these are an issue. I think we'll get rid of the Mako. And I guess we can hit him for 3. Not that we really need to be the aggro player, but I want to get the engine going. Up to 2. If we get to 4, we just copy our removal spells and probably not much more to that game after that. Alright. Creature down. That's okay. They are up to 4 Delirium. So they do get the double attack here. The Enigma Jewel showing up. Okay. Well, we're just waiting for the synthesizer then. And we don't want them to get value off of that either. So I guess we are snaring again. If they have if the last card is a land in hand, we don't want them to give them that value. But I guess they're just really low to the ground. Discard. Draw stuff. We can sack the bauble here on end step to surveil. Which I guess is what we'll do. The next Mako. Okay. Enigma Jewel coming in clutch. I'm going to definitely take the Junker. Other than that, I think we're dimming for the synthesizer. On Spider, discount the Junker down to 1. Maybe a waste on this creature, but it's okay. Just use good. Alright, I mean, we're just sitting here and waiting at this point. Nothing else to do. We need one of our numerous draw engines to show up. Up to speed 3. So if we ever hit the next men again, I mean, we need draw power right now. That's not it. Chariot. Whenever you discard one of our cards, create that many tapped 2/2 zombies. Awesome. The artwork is much cooler on this card than that's a good card. I'll play that one. The next one's good. Don't need the bauble. Yeah, the artwork on this is much cooler than the one I reviewed in the set review. That's a good card too. No more land. We can crew this in attack. Should be fine. I think. Scoop. Okay. Yeah, this deck's weird, man. Like, I really need more draw power. Man, these Scene of the Crimes are pretty tough in the 3-color deck. Maybe they are unkeepable. Maybe it just has to be Azorius. I mean, do nothing till turn 3 is pretty tough. We don't even have black for the Junker, so you have to mulligan this. Much better mana-wise. We'll definitely keep this. We might put back the bauble here. I think I'd rather keep Glass Casket and the other stuff. Braided Net's weird keep. Maybe it's the Braided Net that goes. Okay, we will find out. No creatures. All right, that is tough. But we'll hang on one more turn. Nope, truly no creatures. Okay, one more turn. Oh, it's the same deck. All right, well, that's interesting. Mightstone. I mean, it's really a question of who synthesizes first. And our hand's not that great to start. That's okay. We just have to hang out here for a little while. I guess Grim Bauble, if they're running the exact same deck, it'll have exactly 0 targets, right? So maybe this actually needs to come down now. Now that we think we know what's up. And we can just sack it and surveil and try to hit the synthesizer first. The next spider, we have the next Glass Casket for that. I mean, the thing is, his thing also helps us. Basic land, reveal it. Okay. So that's pretty interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and sack, and we're really looking for the synthesizer here. Braided Net is good in the long game since we have all this mana, right? Like, I think I'll actually keep that. We're going to draw an insane amount of cards off of that. If we go 3 here, we still have 3, 4 mana. We can definitely Junker if we really want to this turn. We might as well Glass Casket, I guess. Yeah, I think that's fine. We can actually craft immediately, can't we? Because I don't think we need it otherwise. I think it's only sorcery speed. Okay, if they can't remove that, we get like a draw 5 or 4? Yeah, it's a huge draw. Potentially enough to run away with the game. Urza coming back from the dead. Okay. Old school Urza deck. Let's see. I don't even know what this guy does. Exile target non-land permanent. Well, that's nice. This only hits creatures. Ooh. Well, that's an issue. I don't think we could have played around that. This is one of the only cards in our deck that can actually answer that. Yeah, so it's got to be that. Okay, you can go. Junker. Alright, and we're completely out of gas. So that's interesting. Oh no! It's not good. The first to synthesize. At least we didn't have a synthesizer down by the time Urza. Oh! Okay, alright. Alright, well, that's about all I need to see there. Talk about heart of the cards, dude. What the fuck? Pretty freaking wild. I mean, we can obviously snare the snare, but that is game. There's nothing we can do to come back from that. Pretty wild. The Urza coming back from the dead. Okay, good game. Hey, on the draw, we have no 2-drops. We have removal. I think you still keep this one. There's a 2-drop. I mean, we're going to try to ramp. And hopefully just start voyaging home as often as possible. Pit Automaton. Could be mill combo here. I don't think I love that. Like we either... I mean, we could just snare this thing. Nope. Alright, gotta answer that instead. That's okay. 2 to the bottom. No other way to do it. It's the Gear Hulk. Okay. I guess they're going to take our voyage home. Unless they really need to... Yeah, there goes voyage home. It's got Ward 1, which is interesting. So we could tap the thing for 1 mana before combat, which isn't bad. 2 to craft. That's kind of all we can do with it this turn. I think we'll just tap their thing down on their turn before combat. Okay. Creature sacked. Auto pay, Ward 1. It crafts like 1 damage per turn, right? Very slow burn. That's a nice draw. I think we'll take the Gear Hulk. Although if they get it back, they do get the ATB again. The other option is Braided Net here. For 2, and then for 4. We draw 3 cards off of that. They get to hit us with this. It's not that bad, honestly. Might be worth it here. I think it's worth it. We'll take the card in the graveyard. Done. Submit. Draw 3. Okay. So we take 4 from this thing, but we got 19 life to play with. Ow. I guess we will snare here. Though we don't have to. We could keep doing the Braided Net thing for a good while. Just need 1 mana to tap it down. It's like this plus the Optimizer. Maybe the Foundry's a little bit safer, I guess. Yeah, that's all for now. Down to 14. Auto pay. Grim Bauble. Alright, that makes lots of artifacts cheaper. I mean, I think we can just set this turn up. Let's see. We can do this and then snare for 2 and still pay the 1. Again, it's weird because they can sap the snare. We don't have anything good in our hand anyway. Okay. I mean, we do have to deal with this issue eventually, but not right now. Okay, so one more artifacts you control with mana value X. Return target artifact card mana value X from graveyard. To get the Surveil. I mean, I think next turn we'll Braided Net again and get a huge draw. I mean, these are both super cheap. We can play these both out beforehand, maybe. 2. Yeah, we could play out both next turn and get a huge braided net draw. We've had 0 synthesizers. Down to 13. We do have some life gain in the deck too. Alright, there goes my creature again. Means we can only play one of these before combat. That's a card. Craft is only a sorcery, yeah? So always gotta check. Okay. Yeah, I think we're looking to do the next braided net route. Let's craft. You can be used. And then we'll sack you for 4. And draw a whole bunch of cards. There's nothing else we can play this turn. So we can just get the fast land down. And we hit both synthesizers, which is huge. Glass Casket seems useless against them, right? I think that's the one that can go. And we don't have any life gain yet still. I mean, we'll go double synth this turn, basically. We still have plenty of Voyages Home in the deck, in theory. They can Tithing Blade craft again. Then we're losing 2 life per turn, so we got to close out the game soon. And we're going to need that life gain, too. Oh, baby. Okay. Let's see what they do with it. Sack the blade. What 3-drop do you want? Another repurposing bay? The synthesizer. Sure. To the bottom. Okay. Here we go. So 3... 3. I guess we could play out another Foundry first here. Or a Braided Net. I mean, we have a lot of mana to play with. Because we have both these guys out. I think we could probably get the Saint of the Crime down first. Synth 1. Sure, we'll keep all the 3-drops, basically. Synth 2. Okay, they don't want to see the rest of it. I don't know. Is this version any better? It's tough to say. It just feels like it's just not all there, you know? It's tough to say. All right, let's do a little post-game wrap-up. This deck is weird. What you see here is I only played one game with it, the last one at the end with it. It just didn't feel like it was doing all the things it needed to do. There are too many things you need to do. You need answers to early threats. But you also need a critical number of 3-drops to fuel the synthesizers. You don't want to play that many early interactive pieces, but also you need to draw. And if you just sit there and you're not drawing, like you're just sitting there and doing nothing. So you need lots of draw power too. The core problem is there's no beanstalk. There's no free draw engine where you just plop it down once and you draw the rest of the game for free. That's kind of what's missing from the deck. And so it's like, well, we could run fewer 2-drops. We could try to run some sweepers. Like we could run Unstable Glyph Bridge, which is weird because it's sweeping up your synthesizer stuff. You could do Sunfall. Like all that could make sense. I don't know if I loved Esper. I mean, I made a huge blunder early. I was trying to run 4 Scene of the Crime with my Esper deck. That was that really screwed me over, and I lost a lot of games because of that. So that was my fault as a deck builder. I think you can absolutely run this in the Azorius version, totally free, which is awesome because it's just a free artifact to fuel your affinity stuff. But in the Esper deck, this was bad. Max, you can run 1 there. You probably should run 0 and just try to keep it as consistent as possible. So maybe that means Esper is not the best version of this, even though I was very excited to try the Demonic Junker out. So if we go Azorius, like, you just need as much draw power as possible, I think. So you want, like, all the Braided Nets and all the Voyages Home and just try to stack artifacts early and get to a place where you have 1 synthesizer down and you're just drawing insane cards per turn. But the truth is, I mean, Voyage Home is awesome, I think. 2 mana, draw 3, gain 3 life is very good. Braided Net is just so expensive. Like, it does double as a removal spell early. You can just tap something down for several turns, and then you need 6 mana total to flip it, craft for 2, and then 4 and tap to draw a bunch. It gets a lot better with the Enigma Jewel. So, like, the pieces are almost there, but it's just not quite. I just don't think you can really make it that competitive in Standard. The Mendicant Core is a fantastic card, but this isn't really the shell for it. I mean, this thing wants to hit hard and fast, kind of like what Croaky's deck was doing with the double strike axe thing. Like, that hit very hard. But here we have no ability to start our engine early, so it's actually quite hard to get up to max speed. Like, by the time you get up to max speed with this deck, it's because you hit them with like 4 10-10s, and the game's already over. So this is not really a max speed deck. So you're not getting that copy effect. So that means just a 2-mana beater that does hit very hard, but it is ultimately just a 2-mana beater that probably gets removed immediately because there aren't a lot of other creatures around. I ended up subbing in the Quick Welder. Like, I thought if we're going to throw this much card draw in, it could be sweet to have huge discounts. But again, there aren't that many creatures, so once this sucker comes down, he probably dies pretty soon. You can run Fabrication Foundry just to ramp, but it's going to be tough in Best of One Standard if you're not ramping into a sweeper, and even sweepers aren't that good in Best of One Standard, like versus mono red. So it's tough. I mean, I tried to throw in a bunch of ramp to fix it up, and I didn't get it. I didn't get it where it needed to be. So I like a lot of the cards. I like Voyage Home a lot. I liked the idea of the Junker a lot. I like the idea of Affinity a lot. It's just the early interactive pieces are tough. The other thing that's tough is the Grim Bauble is sorcery speed. If this was Flash, which is a lot to ask, but it was a Flash -1/-1, I think that'd be extreme. I think that would do a lot to be able to Flash pick off an opponent's 1/1 mice, and it wouldn't kill the Monastery Swift Spears. It would kill a lot of mice, and I think that could be okay enough to play. Sorcery speed is tough for removal. So, I don't know. I tried out some different things here. You could try other combinations. It's just you have to survive early game against mono red and take a full turn off to synthesize, and then run no sweepers, or you can start running sweepers, but you really want the card draw. And so it's just like, there's so much to do. I like this deck. I'll probably play around with it more, but I think for today, this is it for the early access, because I only got so many hours left and I need to try some other decks. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you would do differently, if you have any way you think you could make this more competitive for Best of One Standard. I did my best to play around with it, but I don't feel like I quite got there today. As always, if you enjoyed the video, you can like and subscribe and leave comments. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.